Give a little time for the child within you. Don't be afraid to be young and free. Undo the locks and throw away the keys, and take off your shoes and socks and run you. La 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 la. Give a little time for the child within you. Don't be afraid to be young and free. Undo the locks and throw away the keys, and take off your shoes and socks and run you. Run through the meadow and scare up the milking cows. Run down the beach kicking clouds of sand.
Hey guys, thanks for joining me on this next installation of the Crater Earth series, where we are going to explore the nature of this reality and the way that this place actually looks. That's what I'm trying to get at here. And I believe that there is a way to figure it out. I believe that what they have told us is absolutely not it. And I've found some more research into this area, and we're looking at the black sun at this point, which is fantastic. So, as we start here, I'm going to show you a little piece that I took out of another video that's actually promoted in this first one that I'm going to show you. We're going to go, it's going to basically talk about the black sun, and it's going to elaborate significantly on the Crater Earth theory that I've presented before, that actually Crater Guy has presented. And this is very in line with what he says. It's not exact, and I don't expect it to be. I'm also not rooting for anybody specific to be right. I'm trying to find the truth here. And this new channel that I found, at least this video that they've put out about the black sun, I feel adds a significant amount of information to the crater theory, and they both really build off of each other. So this is fantastic. Before we get started, I took a clip out of the sister video to the one I'm going to show you, and it's for the flat earth folks. So let's check this out.
At the center of every magnet, there is zero magnetism. You can see that underneath the ferrocell. You can see that underneath magnetic viewing film. You could even see it if you were to bring two magnets together with the Gauss meter at the center. So, we know what's going to be at the center. Is there going to be a black spot or a gigantic disk of light? What do you think the answer is? We're creating one magnet out of two. You'll notice as I get it closer, hard to keep it from snapping together, I don't want to break the glass, that at first the black hole gets a little larger. Notice the flux lines diverging. You see that? Now wait, what happens when I bring it together? Look at what's forming before I bring it together. You see that ring of light? As I get closer, let me get it so you can get a better view. As I get closer, the black turns into a ring of light. See if I can zoom in so you can see it. Here we go. Hold on a second. There we go. A ring of light. What you're seeing is the center of the magnet. These two magnets are now effectively one, even though they're separated by a couple of thin pieces of precision glass. The center where no magnetism exists, there's a halo of light. The dark lines represent centripetal convergence. The white lines represent centrifugal divergence. So what you're seeing in the white lines is true magnetism. No, they're moving in the exact same direction, only inverse to your spatial perspective. Nothing. Space is the air inside this donut. The cream filling inside the donut of magnetic divergence is literally the farts, the after effect, the remnant remains, the fecal matter of the loss of inertia, which necessitates magnetic divergence and reciprocation. As Faraday called magnetism, he called it the dielectric field. And oddly enough, one of the first experts in electrical engineering was the guy who got closest, even closer than Tesla, to understanding what magnetism was in its relationship to dielectricity, because only dielectricity exists.
Love my flat earth community because they're asking questions and they're trying to get to the answers, but the truth of it is there is no scientific evidence to break down a flat torus field. There is no such thing. There's no such thing as something being a flat and three-dimensional object at the same time either. Because a lot of them say, well, it's hollow, but it's flat, but it's round, and it's this at the same time. And it's absurd. I mean, how much more are you going to try and force things into your model of it being flat? It's not flat. It can't be flat. I'll explain why. When you break down these two pictures here, showing you field theory 101, this little orange or this greenish looking blue disc right here, I don't know if you can see that bluish disc right here that's flat right there. This is where flat earthers say they live, on the flat part of a torus field. Okay? So what this is right here is this is the centripetal dielectric movement and zone right here. Centripetal dielectric movement and zone. Centripetal means in, so everything is converging inward, and that breaks it down right here. This is your dielectric plate right here. This greenish, bluish looking flat plate right here is this yellow right here. This is what you're seeing right here. So everything is centripetal. It's converging in on the center point. It's converging in on the center point. On the center point. On the center. Center. Center is the point of creation. Center. So everything's converging in at this center point, which is the dielectric field. It's destroying space, meaning, and this is where they say they live. So everything is sucking in. You can take your idea of a black hole, and this is exactly what you would get. You understand? So what this is, where they say they live, is in a chaotic state of a black hole, of nothingness. Nothing exists here. This is formless energy before it's cast out and expressed through magnetism.
So that brings us to cell theory, which is what is being presented here by the guy discussing the black sun. Now, as you'll see, the scientific evidence and everything points to the fact that none of this stuff that we look up and see is what we've been told it is. The sun is not a ball of mass. It is most likely a reaction to an electromagnetic field. There is no fusion on it. There are fusion arcs that happen during what they have actually calculated as solar flares, but that's the only place that they find any fusion. Outside of that, they literally do not know what the sun is. So, and this just goes to explain more of the concept that this place really truly is way more magnificent and crazy than anything that we could just put down in a book, teach to kindergartners, teach to high schoolers, teach to PhD level astrophysicists, and just that's how it is. This is a holographic reality that we live in, and it's very easy to deceive us and to fool us. So we have been, and a big part of it comes from our belief. So again, that's what I want to do this for. Challenge your beliefs. Expand your awareness. Question everything, and ultimately be seeking truth. It doesn't matter if it makes you a little uncomfortable or if you have to let go of something simply because you think, oh, it's getting weird.
It's gonna get fucking weirder!
So we have to step out of our norm and our comfort zone, and we have to actually search for truth, wherever it takes us, however weird it gets. And I bring this stuff out, and I show this to everybody, and I try to poke holes in everybody's comfort bubble simply because I love you.
I'll hug you and kiss you and love you.
Love you.
Love you. Love you.
Love you.
Love you.
Alright, hold up. Before we jump off the edge, let's take a step back and unpack this reality we're trying to hint at. If you've been following our latest uploads, you may have noticed our producer is digging out that rabbit hole a little deeper. And we did say that this was going to happen. And you may have guessed by now that we are only beginning to give you more interesting, and we admit fringe content and context to consider. And there's only one reason why we, at the Awake Mind, are doing this. Now, there are many reasons why you'll see people in this space create videos and content, and almost all of them are about promoting their narrative off onto your consciousness. The outcome from this can be good, bad, great, or just straight up evil. It all depends on who you're dealing with. Thinking on one's feet has never been so important than in these degenerate times we find ourselves in. But our narrative is quite plain, and here it is. Reality is a living, intelligent hologram that includes all the multiverse and all its possible outcomes. Everything you or anyone or anything can conceive is already here. But it's not enough to say it, at least not yet. No, we have to show you what we mean. So I asked our good friend Ryan to get into the nitty-gritty of how this part of the living hologram is constructed. Ryan, you already know the peeps.
Yep, sure do. And as always, we're honored to get a chance to expand more minds.
That's my guy. And you can consider this a companion video to our other video called When the Ish Got Real, Old Earth Inside of Heaven. Also, all images in this video are from BrettHouston.com, but the ideas are from LSC, who got himself locked in a hole, thanks to the feds. That's right, federal prison. This shit is real, but I digress. So Ryan, you have the con.
Thanks, Locke, and let's dig in. Amen, the Black Sun. Do you know where the black invisible sun, the hidden one, is? Hidden right in front of us. There are many theories to consider, and it gets mind-boggling at a point. Most are led to believe it doesn't exist, it's just an esoteric myth. However, if you pay close attention to imagery of the backlit arc of the firmament, it's often visible due to reflection of the sun backwards from early morning ice crystals in the atmosphere or the geoengineering aerosols. You may realize it matches up perfectly with the CMOR thermal images of the black sun octahedron presented by Stephen Christopher. Once I realized the patterns lined up perfectly, it was clear that the black invisible sun and the octahedron are within this arc of firmament. Within that is said to be heaven, and where God resides. Astrotheologically speaking, that is. It is said that many raised in the secret societies are enlightened to this reality. We are shown through symbolism. But one denies its existence in spoken word. It's like they want us to figure it out without giving it away. Life's a challenge. Are you up for it? This is a big one. I assume some of this is going to look a little scary for those raised in the doctrine of the church, but you have to comprehend the occult symbolism. And realize occult means hidden, it doesn't mean evil. It's hidden from the masses. We were told it was evil to keep us from considering it, like the forbidden fruit in the Garden of Eden. This is the source of power in the universe. And it's neither good nor evil, it just is. What you do with the power determines whether it is good or evil, and that depends on the viewer. If you eat a nice chicken dinner, you view that as a good thing. Meanwhile, for the chicken, it was evil. What is good for one may be evil for another. It depends solely on the observer. It's about perspective. There's just one source of power, and varying degrees. There is no dude in a red jumpsuit with a pitchfork running around doling out the evil. That's an allegorical character to represent the duality of the one power, to help explain it. There's no dude in a white flowing robe flying around saving you from the dude with the pitchfork. Again, it's allegory. Now there are those that claim Lucifer is the deity within the black sun. However, my research considers another angle and direction. I suspect this was meant to hide the good stuff under the bad stuff so nobody will find it. Lucifer equals Venus. Satan equals Saturn. Ra or Jesus equals the sun. Amen, Yahweh, God equals the black invisible sun. The allegorical characters represent the celestial entities, and the stories explain their complex movements. The big kicker is, the planets are not spinning rock balls. They are sonoluminescent energy at specific frequencies. Energy, frequency, vibration equals entities. There's so much more to this, it will turn your reality inside out. Unveiling the mystery of Amen, the Hidden One. Let's go back in time a bit for perspective to ancient Kemet, Egypt. There is Amen, there is Amun, and there is Ra. There really is no Amen Ra. The combination was done later to hide Amen. The Hidden One. Amen is the black sun. But Ra is the sun. The black sun is a planetary entity. It is not some esoteric mythology or an antiquated pagan god, or part of the Nazi order. Some say this symbol signifies the Big Dipper. I consider that theory an intentional misdirection. It's really symbolizing the black, invisible sun, celestial sphere. The fact that the symbol is presented in two directions is the big hint. The Big Dipper only spins in one direction. The vortex of the black sun spins two different directions between the north and south vortex. Like a dielectric toroid field. It is the planetary entity that fuels the sun's converter and emits etheric energy. It is responsible for all eclipses. It is said to create darkness. Darkness, dark matter, is not the absence of light. It is its own special substance. The fabric of our reality. Like pixels to a monitor. Ever notice an atom includes red, blue and green particles? We call them RGB. They are like pixels on a screen only in 3D. But it's not physical matter, it's waves. Pure sonoluminescent energy. But more on that later. For right now, focus on the octahedron within the celestial sphere. Appearing to be a mirrored pyramid at some angles, a cube, or a star at others, as it turns. Memorize this image because the pyramid is the key. Is this an image of God? Is this the source of power in the universe within heaven, where God resides? Or is it just the mechanism the Creator uses to power Earth and generate this holographic reality? Symbolized by the Eye of Providence and many other prominent symbols. It is the meaning of the Masonic G. The man behind the curtain in The Wizard of Oz. If reality is a simulation, this mechanism powers the intricate hologram. The symbolism is staggeringly everywhere, hidden in plain sight. The power that fuels everything here. The pyramid represents the north apex in the octahedron. That represents the Father in heaven. When you say Amen after your prayers to whatever allegorical deity you subscribed your soul to, you acknowledge this deity. Regardless of what's in your heart. If there is power in the name, then deceiving one of that name could be significant. Like praying to Alexa in Siri's name. Amen is not Hebrew for so be it. Despite what we have been told, Amen is actually the Father of gods. Your Father who art in heaven. The invisible sun that powers the visible sun. It's allegorical astrotheology. Amen has a multitude of names and symbols. But it all breaks down to representing the planetary entity within the celestial sphere, black sun, that emits etheric energy and powers the visible sun. This information is never included in our preset installed reality system. So you need to toss that preset in a bag with your belief system. Then toss the bag into the goddamn ocean. For fun, imagine that you are not an accidental ape-like being riding a spinning water ball through spaceland. But that you are on the inside of a massive motionless Earth, and the stars were spinning above you in a celestial sphere, like a giant star-encrusted ball. It's a crazy theory called Cell Earth. But as crazy as that seems, it helps to consider this when trying to understand the reality of the cosmology. Because when you look at the movement of the stars and planets in time-lapse imagery, you will quickly realize both the aleo and geocentric models are inaccurate. This is the smoking gun. That one tipping point that destroys the geo and heliocentric models. And confirms the real movements of the heavens. Vincent Brady created the most amazing time-lapse images of the stars' movement that really puts the universe in perspective. I initially considered that Earth was within the celestial sphere, as it spun around us. That's what observation would lead us to believe. But when you watch the movement of the stars in time-lapse, wide angle, you'll see the big ball spinning above you. The wheel in the sky keeps turning. It's an optical illusion using refraction to make it look like it envelopes and goes around you on the edges. Meanwhile, the celestial sphere spins inside and above us. This exceptional imagery captured by Vincent Brady illustrates this movement perfectly. Symbolism is everywhere. The black sun is one of the most obscured elements of this reality. And yet it is hidden in plain sight right in front of you. You can never truly comprehend this reality without knowing the black sun. Only by raising your level of awareness can you see the hidden meaning. Until then, it's just pretty or weird art based on someone's mythology. The Eye of Providence is not a symbol of evil. We were just led to believe that to hide the true source of power within the celestial sphere, black sun. It is not just an esoteric myth, but a planetary entity. A massive star-encrusted ball spinning above us. The source of etheric energy, the fabric of our reality. If reality was a simulation, this is where you would find the man behind the curtain. The Father of Gods. Amen. Most are already praying, albeit unaware to Amen. Amen being the black sun. AKA Rahu, dark star, dog star, black star, dark sun, the hidden one who has many names. Responsible for all eclipses, phases and aurora borealis. The heavens where the G resides. To fully grasp the black sun, it takes a knowledge of many other elements, not included in our factory-installed reality systems. But it is worth everything. Once you finally see the magnitude of this, your perception of reality will forever change. The swastika has one original meaning. It is the black sun. Nazis used it because they knew the power of it. But it is not a Nazi symbol. And it does not mean Nazi. Regardless of association or what one may be led to believe. It symbolizes the black sun. Most people don't even know it exists despite all the symbolism surrounding them. Some would prefer you think it's some Nazi bullshit than realize what the black sun is. Amen. But symbolism speaks more than words, indicating one of many entrances to the underworld. Most Americans are unaware that both solar and lunar eclipses are covered by the black sun, not the Earth. But this has very deep significance in ancient times and occult practices today. But hidden from the masses, albeit in plain sight. Far more important than a simple celestial body. To learn some truth about eclipses, you can start in Vedic cosmology. It is called Rahu. Rahu ate the sun, now follow that rabbit down the hole. NASA will tell you it doesn't exist. But can they tell you why there are over 50 documented eclipses with both the sun and moon on Earth's horizon? This proves that the Earth's shadow is not affecting phases or eclipses. But an object that caused the eclipse was moving the opposite direction of the moon. So as the legend says, Rahu ate the sun. The black sun is called the hidden one because it is not luminous and rarely visible in the sky except in phases and eclipses. Yet the truth about this is hidden, in plain sight from the minions. We have covered the functional characteristics of its role in eclipses and such, now consider the spiritual, energetic, symbolic connections. When you conclude your prayer with Amen, you connect to this entity. Like when you say Siri, you can connect to Siri. But she will not answer your prayer if you ask in Alexa's name. The black sun produces etheric energy. It is power. It is not a mythological creature. This is important to always remember. Ether emanating from the black sun is what pushes us to the terror, not gravity pulling us down. Tesla called this universal compression. Ra is the visible sun. You see and feel the sun's energy and power. You know it to be real. The moon and planets emit energy as well, at specific frequencies. These affect us as they come and go closer and further. But we don't see the black sun's power and energy. That's why it's called the hidden one. We were told it doesn't exist. We question whether it's real. And yet, we tap into its power unwittingly when you pray to Amen. Think about that. Semantics is very important in this reality. So is spiritual law and etymology with consent and binding agreements. Why do you think most every religion wants to get you into a soul contract with their special deity or version thereof? Why did they deceive everyone to exclaim Amen at the end of their prayers or chant Amen? Sound is everything in this reality. Energy, frequency and vibration. Think about it, you can ask Siri any question you desire, or directions to the closest Starbucks, and she will magically hear you and grant your request. She answers to her name when she is being summoned. She activates, she knows. She answers your prayer, she saves you from the darkness of your own ignorance. She will not answer your prayer if you call upon Alexa, no matter what is in your heart. No matter what your intention was. So if there is power in the name and someone hid the name from you, do you think it was done for your benefit? Of course not. There are rules that govern this simulation we call reality, regardless of what we believe. One thing that is crucial to understand then is that there are no particles, only waves. There is no physical matter. Tesla hinted to that in his statement that to understand the universe one must think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. Planets are not terra firma, but cymatic frequencies. Sonoluminescence. And you can't land a spaceship on that, Houston. Other theories of the black sun. Vedic cosmology claims eclipses happen when the sun and moon intersect along the nodes. But they place Earth within the black sun. So we still share the theory of intersecting nodes, albeit inverted, because in the cell-Earth model we place the black sun within the Earth. The cell-Earth theory, however, claims that there's a massive star-encrusted ball, celestial sphere, that sits inside the shell of Earth and spins around but right above us, encased in glass-like firmaments, containing a water or plasma-like substance. The black sun spins like a toroid field. And at different points on Earth, one will see the top spin in one direction while the bottom appears to spin in the other direction. Observing star trail time-lapse sequences will help one see this more clearly. Once you see that big ball of stars spinning above you, you can't unsee it. Once you wrap your head around this, all the ancient symbolism, hidden in plain sight, is unlocked. And there is a ton of it. Symbolism can be more effective to help one realize this than all the words we can use to describe it. It's probably the most important thing that most people are completely unaware of, despite all the symbolism seen daily. It's been hidden, like a giant Easter egg in plain sight. It's like they really want one to be able to figure it out, but it's a challenge. I have long heard that there was a portal to the black sun through the sun. It opens during an eclipse. Sunlight on the water is like a stairway to heaven. You can't go through it when you are in a physical body. Only as a spirit, because spirit is pure energy. And this is a dielectric toroid field. So here's the deal, you have to figure this out when you are here, before you die. Otherwise you wander around lost. One cannot assume there will be a Saint Peter to guide you to heaven, or throw you in hell. When we were told that we were insignificant specks riding a spinning water ball in an endless universe, you could never fathom or even think to find God is right above, the all-seeing eye. Hidden in plain sight. But the symbolism was there, everywhere, we just weren't taught the language of symbolism. It's almost like a challenge, but we're not told we're playing a game or what the rules are. We have to figure out everything as we go. Amen and Ra are not evil, mythological pagan gods. They are allegorical characters that represent planetary deities. It's astrotheology. Stories created to explain the mysteries of the universe using allegorical characters and stories that symbolize the movements of the planets and 12 constellations. Also known as the 12 disciples, but for some it was sold as fact. Never looking beyond the surface or comprehending the symbolism. The planets are not spinning rock balls, they are sonoluminescent energy at various frequencies. You can't land a spaceship on sonoluminescent energy. This is what they teach in the mystery schools, secret societies, and what they obscure in the public schools with pseudoscience and disinformation to keep the hidden one hidden. If the overlords didn't want people to know their symbolism, they wouldn't hide them in plain sight, but it's like a game. Information versus disinformation, only one truth. It's your responsibility to discern. Now, is it really an evil Illuminati of baby-eating lizards ruling the world, or are they just characters in the game we are playing? Most don't even realize they are playing or what the rules are yet. What if the signs they flash displayed their level of affiliation in this game? And not allegiance to some dark lord? And remember, reality is a living hologram that works in waves and not particles. Like this audio you're listening to. It was recorded in waves. Audio doesn't store particles. You can analyze digital audio recordings on a computer and see the waveforms and frequency range. Cameras record waves. They do not store particles. We are not made of particles, but waves. When we take our own image, it records the waveforms. You can see it live in a pro camera when you set the meter to display waveforms, showing what we really are. Waveforms of energy at different frequencies. If you seek to discern whether we are particles or waves, this is a big hint we are intricate holograms. And the emitter is the black sun.